If you drove through this tunnel today, you probably wouldn't think twice about it. The drive feels completely normal, quiet, smooth, almost forgettable. But that's exactly what makes it so remarkable. Because hidden somewhere above your head is an entire fjord. Not a lake, not a river. An ocean inlet carved through solid granite thousands of years ago. And at its deepest point, millions of tons of seawater are pressing down on the mountain above this road. So here's the question. How do you build a highway that deep beneath the sea, without the sea finding its way in? The surprising part isn't that engineers eventually solved the problem. It's how many completely different problems they had to solve first. Because digging the tunnel turned out to be one of the easier parts. What came afterward would determine whether this project could ever become a real road. But before any machine touched the mountain, the challenge had already begun. Western Norway is one of the most beautiful places in Europe. Towering granite mountains rise almost straight out of the sea. Deep fjords separate towns that sit only a few kilometers apart. On a map, they look close. In reality, they often felt worlds away. For decades, ferries were the only practical connection. They worked, most of the time, but storms could stop them. Heavy traffic created long waits, and every crossing depended on weather that changed by the hour. Building a bridge sounds simple until you realize just how deep these fjords really are. Some are too wide, others are too deep. Many are surrounded by mountains that leave almost no room for massive bridge foundations. Engineers weren't simply choosing between a bridge or a tunnel. They were trying to solve a transportation problem that nature had spent thousands of years creating. So they began asking a different question. Instead of crossing the fjord, could they pass beneath it? It sounded almost impossible. But before anyone could answer that question, they first needed to understand something far more unpredictable than the sea itself, the mountain. Because everything that followed would depend on what was hidden inside the rock.
Line 3, check your brackets. On it, looking good down here. Verified continuous routing. Good spacing, looks right. Check the label. Verified. Move to the next one. The alignment looks perfect. Yes, the edge lines are spot on. Let's mark this section complete. All right, ventilation check's complete. Fans are running optimally. Check. Moving on to emergency systems.
All systems checked green. Looks good here. Ready to reset. Initiating standby mode.
All right, lift it up. Good. Ready? Good. Check the markings here. Looks good.
Once the tunnel was structurally complete, the challenge changed completely. It was no longer about breaking through the mountain. It was about earning the public's trust. Ventilation, lighting, power, emergency systems. Every component had to work together. Because underground, there's very little room for error. Then came the final transformation. Fresh asphalt replaced temporary construction roads. Bright lane markings stretched into the distance. For the first time, the tunnel finally looked like a highway. But appearances weren't enough. Every fan was tested, every emergency system checked, every electrical circuit verified. Nothing was left to chance. Only after months of commissioning did the barriers finally come down. Drivers entered the tunnel for the very first time. Most never thought about the thousands of controlled blasts, the hidden drainage behind the walls, or the engineering quietly supporting the mountain above them. They simply drove. And that's the true measure of great engineering. When something extraordinarily difficult feels completely ordinary. Today, the Eiksund Tunnel continues to connect communities beneath the fjord, quietly proving that some of the world's greatest engineering achievements are the ones most people never even notice. If you enjoyed discovering the hidden engineering behind this project, subscribe for more stories about the world's most extraordinary infrastructure.